Hey, I'm going to make this quick because if I make it long, I will be depressing. And I don't know why, because I'm not feeling particularly depressed, but um, I think it's just that I want to talk about what happened to me last week and keep everyone informed, but I it wasn't a particularly good week, so I think it's just bringing my mood down. But the facts as they are is that um, last weekend I had a 4 day weekend before my transfer became official. So I went out and partied and realized that I am not young anymore, and um, I kind of I kind of can't do the things that what it is. I think this is what it is. What it is that ever since my adult life began, I think I've been trying to find myself and be the person that I am, and I think I just found out. I think with age comes wisdom, and I think I just found out what 18 years old should have been like for me, but it's too late for me to do that. So I think maybe that's what it is. I don't know if that made any sense. Anyway, so I realized I'm not a young person anymore, and then this week last week I started my training for this new position, and I kind of feel like the idiot of the class, but I'm really not, because they're all coming from the same position but in different places, whereas to me it's a whole different position. So they're learning, oh, this is what I've been doing for 3 years, but this is how it's done differently here. Whereas I'm learning everything about this position. So I think I've just got the greater challenge. Plus, I'm dealing with the public, which is outside of my comfort zone, and there are other things that are unique to me. But it's going good. I mean, I'll be fine. I'm not going to get fired or something. But I don't think um, I'm still in that awkward phase. But once I'm on my feet and running, and you know, in 2 3 weeks, I'll be fine. So I don't really have any worries there. It's just not. Just going to work isn't really the funnest thing right now. Since I did last vlog, the one thing I did do was I ended up seeing two movies. The first was The Wolfman, which which I like, but I don't know how wise it is for me to do movie reviews, because I like all movies. Um, Even movies I shouldn't like. Like Freddy Got Fingered was really the most asinine movie on the planet, but I sat through it, and every movie's got something that I tend to connect with. That one, it was the fact that he wanted to be an animator and was having those issues with his father, which I could relate to to certain aspects of that character he played. Um, so I don't know how critical I really can be. I do tend to look at films, like my ex and I. We used to always and we couldn't talk about movies because I would look at it from a producer's point of view, and he had such a consumerist point of view on everything that we couldn't really talk because we were on two completely different planes. And so he's reading things in the movie that I think that he loves, that I think are completely stupid, and I reading things that I think are brilliant that were just way over his head. Anyway, um, but I did see The Wolfman, and what I really loved was that it was shot almost like, um, well, I mean, it turns out it was a remake of a 1941, movie, but it was kind of shot like it had this old Hollywood feel to it, which I really appreciated. That and the cinematography was stunning. But I liked it. I held my interest. I know there were a lot of critics that completely panned it, but I mean it held my interest. I don't horror is my least, and I wouldn't even classify this as a horror film really, but it's my least favorite genre, and and having said that, it held my interest. I really liked it. And I had no idea that the girl in it was Emily Blunt. When I saw the credits, I was like, oh, really, this whole time? The costume was fabulous. Um, but it was interesting. Oh, and Geraldine Chaplin is in it, which is always fun to see a familiar face. Um, the other movie I saw was Avatar. Spur of the moment, friend called up, let's see Avatar. Okay, let's go. And really, really, I knew nothing going into it. So I really didn't know what to expect, except that it was 3 hours long. And as a 3 hour long movie, I did feel like, well, I sat there thinking, oh, could they have edited this, more succinctly? And I suppose, I suppose yes and no. I mean, I guess in certain sections, it's kind of like Peter Jackson's King Kong was, which is, but not that bad. Not as bad, Peter Jackson's King Kong was, um, okay, stop the story. We need a 20-minute dinosaur chase, and so which a dinosaur chase is fun, but 20 minutes of it, you start falling asleep. Avatar didn't have any really weird, crazy. I mean, could have been streamlined, I suppose. So, the fact that it wasn't, does it hurt the picture? No, not at all. I didn't think. But it was very interesting, and I did like it. I didn't really know what else to say, except that it was the reason I did my whole spiel about thinking like a producer was that Avatar actually was the first movie in a long, long time that I was able to completely just sit down and, I wasn't looking so much at the art direction and the graphics and um, the cinematography or the costumes. I just really sat down and was drawn into the film, and the film, it's what was happening in the film was so interesting to me that that other part of me just shut off, and I just sat and enjoyed the film, which is what movies are supposed to do after all. So I'd say it was a success. That and the fact that it's the highest grossing movie ever made qualifies it as a success. So with that, I would say catch you later, and I hope no one's depressed.